Hello, this is Mark at American Rescue Concepts. Today I'm going to talk about the BW Gas Alert Max XT2 4-sensor gas detector. This detector has a pump inside, and it is also rechargeable, so it limits the amount of wartime you have before you can recharge it. The gases that this monitor is set up for is oxygen, LEL or combustibility, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon monoxide, the four required by OSHA for entering and working in confined spaces. It's set up to the acceptable entry conditions. O2 acceptable ranges are 19.5 to 23.5, 10% LEL calibrated to methane, 10 parts per million H2S, and 35 parts per million for CO. Outside of those limits, and this will alarm. So it's kind of a cool meter. It has a single button operation, and it's the gray button right here. You use that button for turning the meter on. You use that button for checking your peaks, turning the meter off, and also going into calibration. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Once you turn this meter on, it goes through a self-check and tests all of the sensors to make sure that they're operating. It also does a fresh air setup, so when you turn this instrument on, it should be in fresh air. So here we go. And follow what it says on the screen. It tells you what the meter is. You can hear the pump as it starts, and it's asking you to block that pump to let the machine know it's functioning properly. Time-weighted averages, short-term exposure limits, your low alarm settings, when this thing will go off, high alarm settings. These meters come from the factory set up for 180-day calibration. We calibrate this machine monthly, actually sometimes far greater than monthly. Whenever it requires it, we will calibrate this machine. We also bump test these machines daily before use. According to the manufacturer of the sensors, the only way to make sure that this machine is working properly is to bump test it. And I'm going to go ahead and do a bump test now. I've got some Cal gas with me. I'm going to move this out of the way and show you the Cal gas. Before I do that, let me show you the sensors. We got a hydrogen sulfide sensor right here that just plugs in. We've got carbon monoxide sensor right there. You can see they just plug right in. Let me see here. They just plug right in to the machine. I put an X to it so I know that they've been used and are no longer any good. The LEL sensor, quite a bit different looking than the others, made a metal case, and the oxygen sensor. These go out more than anything else, and we change those here in the shop. But those are the sensor types. Now let me talk about the Cal gas. The Cal gas that's sent to us is, I'm just leaning the bottle over there. I hope you can read that. It's a 4-gas combined gas. It has 100 parts per million of carbon monoxide, 25 parts per million of hydrogen sulfide. It uses methane as the flammable gas, and it's at 50%. 18% volume on O2, and the balance is nitrogen. So basically, when I plug this into the meter, that's what I want my meter to show me to let me know that it is operating properly. So I'm going to take the plug and I'm going to plug it right into the hole. And I like to cover the little alarm whistle right here, because it doesn't, I get tired of listening to it. So as those values increase, we're waiting for them to get to those values. The O2, you'll notice the O2 has dropped a little bit, and that's acceptable. Here we go. We know at this point that this meter is fully operational, right? The pump is working. All of the sensors, each of the sensors is capable of reading for those gases in that range, and we're ready to go to work. So we talked about peaks earlier. At this point, I want to use that same button, and I'm going to test my peaks to see what the tall readings on this meter are to this point. I go ahead and push that twice quickly. It gives me the date, and it walks through. If I've got into my Stellus TWAs, right, you can see some numbers there. This is the high that it read, and I wanted to clear all those out, so I just pushed the button. You're just following this screen to make sure everything is done properly. So once again, it's 2 quick pushes on the silver button, right? So I'll go through that one more time. 1, 2, and there we go. This time we'll get nothing, zeros throughout, because we cleared the last time we did this. And this meter's up and functional. So we've pretty much gone through everything other than turning it off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the meter off. It's very self-explanatory. I'm going to use that same button, single button operation. Push and hold for about 3 seconds. It will count down and turn off. Here we go. So that's how we need to bump this thing in the morning. Turn it on, let it warm up. We're going to go ahead and add the gas. We're going to make sure that our sensors all stabilize on the readings that are on the cylinder, and then we're going to clear. We're going to check the peaks, right? And then we're going to clear those peaks so we don't see those later in the afternoon or later in the day. So thanks a lot. We'll come back and do BW Quattro next. Thank you.